Hello, and welcome to today's episode on electroglottography and the irregular curve. After we began using high speed films, we have renewed interest in electroglottography since we can compare segmentation on high speed films with electroglottographic curves online. There's no doubt that fundamental frequency measurements with electroglottography is very stable as long as there is contact. It is also very interesting to see voice onset time. The old discussion of hypo versus hyperkinetic adduction is clearly solved. Triggering a stroboscopic light source makes definition of stroboscopic duty cycles much more exact. We have used electroglottography for fundamental frequency measurements during childhood. The fundamental frequency of the speaking voice was registered by electroglottography and averaged over 2000 cycles by using a computer. From the mean value of the frequency in hertz, the fundamental frequency was worked out. The tonal range during the flow of speech was also averaged to give the tonal range of the speaking voice. This analysis reproduced a fascinating experience. We had onto Mana Choir where we could see register jumps on the phonetograms, and on the electroglottograms we found that these register shifts were carried out in the boys with one duty cycle intervals. The top part of the picture shows singing from the lower to the upper register, and the lower part shows from upper to lower register. Note that there is a middle register, probably due to some training on the upper part. Vibrato is not considered an abnormal movement of the vocal folds. On the contrary, if you have a qualified singer, you have a slight variation, which is vibrato, on the fundamental frequency, which is what the electroglottograph measures at the vocal fold level. The acoustical measure is measured in front of the mouth, and if both are regular, you have a really good singer. This picture shows the singer with irregular electroglottographic curve, but conserve the vibrato, and the acoustical curve is not uniform. Electroglottography is a big help if you want to evaluate disorders located around the vocal folds function. It's fascinating to compare it to the acoustical picture, which shows the resonance area, because each of these two can be pathological without the other. Examples of the variation of the glottographic curves in persons with normal stroboscopy. The markings of the stroboscopic picture for maximum opened and closed faces are seen. So you define maximum opened and closed face both with electroglottography and stroboscopy. In this way, the weak definition of the closed face of the vocal cords in stroboscopy was solved with the combination with electroglottography. As you remember, stroboscopy is an average of several duty cycles of the vocal folds. Recently, an algorithm has been made to find the accurate estimate to find the glottal closure instance and glottal opening instance from electroglottographic signals. An overview of the necessary technical aspects of electroglottography was made by Erbst in 2019. When pathological voice production is measured, it is typically associated with non-periodical electroglottographical curves and irregular single curves. The engineers unfortunately do not have the background for evaluating pathological aspects of combined electroglottography, especially with stroboscopy or high-speed films, neither for planning nor treatment aspects. An example of beautiful co-work between the medical and engineering departments is the following paper, where electroglottography, spectrograms, and the first derivative of the electroglottography signal, wavegrams, were used before and after treatment of a polyp on a vocal fold. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.